Monkstown and Banbridge. This is the fifth meeting of these teams this year. They've played twice in the IHL already, a 3-all draw and a comprehensive, I think it was 5-1 win to Banbridge. So this is the third time they meet in this competition this year. They've, as I said, met 4 times already this season, and Monkstown are yet to get a win under their belt. So this will be quite a turnaround if Monkstown can actually get through and join their ladies who have qualified for the final tomorrow. So as the players greet each other here, we'll see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. Expecting a high skill, athletic encounter here between two of the best sides in the country. Monkstown, last number of years, dominated, but Banbridge really coming to the fore now with impressive performances in Europe as well, getting to the KO 16 and losing on strokes to Racing for France. One of the key factors in today's game is probably that Banbridge were missing their goalkeeper Gareth Lennox. He was replaced by a 17-year-old Luke Rolston. We'll see how they get on there. Could be key. I'm sure Monkstown will be targeting that as a potential weakness.
Couple of things in this game I think to look out for. I think it'll be interesting to see how Monkstown deal with Matty Bell at the back. He has the ability to spray ball long. He's got the ability to go over the top. If they press him high, will they look to isolate to the other centre back? If they do that, then that kind of opens up space in the half-forward line for the likes of Eugene McGee and Johnny McKee to work. So we may well see Monkstown sit off here, try to soak up some pressure, look for turnover ball, and then look to the likes of Davy Carson, who's been in fine form this season, and Kyle Good to counter-attack on the break. Obviously, I think they're going to have to come down through the wide channels to try and stay away from Bell and Marshall in the middle. But we'll see as the game starts how that unfolds.
Just about to get underway here. Looks like the Monkstown starting team is Carl Smith, Keith Kenning, Carl Lynch and David Cole at the back, with David Fitzgerald in goals. And we'll dispense with that because the game's underway. Keith Kenning carrying out a defence under pressure. He's been overturned. Early attack here. A bit of skill across the baseline. Oh, just inches wide there.
I think there you've seen early on that long ball over the top from Matthew Bell. I think Monkstown are going to have to really deal with that ball. It's if you can get your player underneath it. Oh, a bit of a hit there. That's going to be sore. But if they can deal with that ball coming over the top, it's a good source of possession for Monkstown from which they can go forward. But if they struggle with it, it's that second ball that's absolutely key. If Banbridge are coming in, putting pressure on there, I think that could cause a lot of trouble for Monkstown. There's Matthew Bell on the ball again here. Checks his options. Peter Brown working across well. Carl Marshall bringing the ball forward. This is the ball that Monkstown have to win, and well won by Carl. Now here they go. Now here's Carson one-on-one. This is the sort of situation they're going to look for. And that's a dangerous ball across, looking for Jeff Cole coming in at the back post. And it's gone for a long corner.
Dead right to call that out there, Ivan. That's going to be a key battleground today as balls come in from the fullbacks into forwards, running back, 10-yard runs to pick up the ball. Just there, Andrew Ward's 1-1 and it's turned into danger here for Banbridge, but resultant foul is a free out.
I think this is the first time now we'll see how Monkstown are going to go about this press. It looks like they're going to go with a three-quarter press on the 75, so they're possibly looking for this, but you can see the space that it's opening up. And this is the ball that we were talking about into the likes of Eugene McGee and Johnny McKee in that area that they're going to have to deal with. If if Matthew Bell can keep picking those guys out, I think Monkstown could be in for a long afternoon here. Carl Smith bringing the ball forward. Andrew Ward and it's Stephen Cole, the captain there, just running the ball out of play. Again, pressing high on the 75. Matthew Bell. And that's a great block by Jeff Cole. And again, a space here for if Monkstown can get the players into those pockets. But this is where they can't afford to turn over the ball in these sort of areas.
Deemed to have been run wide there, but Monkstown, or Banbridge players saying it was touch off a defender. You will see today that it will probably come down to errors, turnovers, balls over the sideline. Your opposition today are so fast, so quick. I imagine they'll just take it and turn it over, just like we've seen here, quickly in front from the defender, and Banbridge away. Lots of appealing, but Monkstown will do well to just continue with the game, because any lapse of concentration will you'll be punished for here, just as we're seeing.
Okay, so the ball looks to be going out for a long corner there. So Eugene McGee on the ball. Peter Brown just pulling out, giving option. And they're going to work it around the back again with Kyle Marshall. That's Drew Carlisle, ball forward. This is where Monkstown need to keep this ball. When Banbridge are taking the ball forward, they need to isolate and use that sideline and just force Banbridge to play back all the time. Again, this is Davy Carson, who we've been talking about. He's had a very good season. He's scored 20 plus goals for the club, so he'll certainly be a man that Banbridge are going to have to keep an eye on. Carl Good rolls a nice ball here through for Andrew Ward, who turns his man into the D. And it's a very solid tackle by Matthew Bell as they take it away. Eugene McGee working back there. Just need to be patient here. Patient, no foul. And there's a free, and that's excellent work by Monkstown. Oh, appeal for 5 there, which would have resulted in a short corner, but they play on. That's a super ball in from Lee Cole. Lee Cole just returning today for his first match. The last game he played was the Irish Senior Cup final against Banbridge, in which he got a broken hand. So you'll see him wearing that cricket glove, and a very, very fine underage cricketer he was too. So he'll be well used to wearing that.
Good bit of personal knowledge there, Ivan, bringing that to bear over your many years from Andrews. How do you see these guys? They've come through. They're playing international stuff now. As we see Jeff Cole break away. Oh, and that's very close. Very close. And lovely carry there as well. The skill just to take it away from 2 defenders, one-handed on his reverse side. But yeah, we see a lot of guys come through your system now, play for Ireland. Must fill you with a sense of pride.
It does indeed, Donal. No, they're coming through. They're coming through. Like we're producing pretty good players in school, and a lot of them coming into us into St Andrews College through Monkstown Hockey Club. So these guys have been playing together since they were 7, 8, 9 years of age. Like in the 16 today, I think we counted 12 having come through Andrews. So they've all been playing together a long time. But certainly the early stages here, we see Monkstown. They're causing that back four of Banbridge quite a bit of trouble here early on, and they've got a couple of shots away. So I think Michael Stiles, the coach, will be very encouraged by the start that they've made here. Again, that's good defending by Banbridge in the corner, just using the sideline as their friend and isolating the ball wide. And this is where Monkstown need to be careful with Eugene McGee kind of just playing in that pocket. But that's a great ball. Does Eugene McGee just playing in that pocket behind the forward line and in front of the midfield, and they're going to certainly have to be very wary of him as the game progresses here.
Peter Brown checking out. A bit of pressure on, but the ball's coming in from Banbridge. Okay, it's free out. You'll see with Eugene McGee, if you watch him closely, the ball is rarely ever on the ground when he's carrying it. It's up in the air. He's no issue running at full speed with the ball on the end of a stick, 2 feet off the ground. It's incredibly difficult to defend. That's an excellent ball to Jason Lynch, who just come on the park.
Eugene McGee, I believe, was a very fine hurler in his day, don't
I believe, yeah. Wonder that strength that you're talking about that Monkstown have of guys coming through for the same system together. Does it extend to Banbridge? They've got a good system up there as well.
Well, certainly, I think if we look at the four, superb ball in there with a push in the back, so it's a free out. I think if you look at the four semi-finalists this weekend, I think each of the clubs are linked very closely with a lot of the top schools in the country. Three Rock, many of their players will be coming through Wesley. Banbridge Academy would supply the bulk of this Banbridge team. I think you're probably talking about 12, 13 of their squad probably coming through that system. And then the other semi-finalists, then Garvey, have been taking a big number of players out of the likes of Wallace. We've had some very fine teams there in the last few years, and also Friends. So I think the schools are supplying a lot of top players into these sides, and that's probably part of the key to their success. The link between the two there.
Rare mistake there from Philip Brown on the right hand side, just mistrapping that ball. He'll be annoyed at himself for that, but interesting to see now what Banbridge do. They're sort of dropping off a fair bit. They're leaving one or two guys high, but big space in the midfield there, but it's worked out for them. With Philip Brown carrying away, and he tries to release Bruce McCandless, but to no avail.
I think that ball into midfield there that they've just played to Stephen Cole, that's a ball from the back to David Cole and Keith Kenning that really has to stick. Every time that ball goes in there, anything that pops off the stick I think will be swallowed up, and it's the most dangerous turnover really in hockey, where that ball is popped into that deep midfielder. If they can win that ball back, I think they'll get a lot of success from it. So we'll see how that pans out. But everything's going to have to stick once it's played into that midfield there.
Yeah, the nature of that ball being turned over basically means that you have often 5-on-3 coming through, because the Banbridge midfield, if they turn that over, they've bypassed the Monkstown midfield and are coming out of the defence with all the forwards there as well. So it's a key situation you see, and it's practiced pretty regularly in training sessions where you do 5v3s or 6v4 sort of situations.
Again, Banbridge building here through the back through Kyle Marshall and Matthew Bell. I think we're seeing certainly Monkstown here are really looking to clog up the middle of the pitch and trying to isolate Banbridge to those wide areas, slowing down the attack. So a chance for a break here. But that's beautifully mopped up by Matthew Bell, and again, chance to break. I think what we'll be looking for, both sides will be looking for here, is certainly no double turnovers. Like once they win the ball back, looking to build a phase. So we see Banbridge here just looking to build a phase. Just get a few touches on the ball, keep the ball from Monkstown, and just get a little bit of shape, just calming things down here a little bit. That's a beautiful turn in midfield there by Hugh McShane. And that second ball but that's a fantastic turn. Absolutely superb turn. You can see both sides now are doing quite a bit of rolling, so I think 2 games over a weekend played at this intensity, the strength of the squads is going to be absolutely key here. Carl Smith coming in there for Carl Lynch, so they maintain their quota of Carls on the pitch. David Cole bringing the ball forward here. He's actually been struggling a little bit with a hamstring injury over the last couple of weeks, so it's good to see him out here. He's absolutely key to that Monkstown backline.
I don't expect to see too many overheads like that missed today. You might see the forwarders dropping in behind, hoping that something would come of it, but not with players of this quality. And that's actually been the hallmark of it for me so far. Well, there's been a few missed traps, and that the detail of the game when you see how guys are taking the ball, trapping the ball and moving it with 1 or 2 touches quite often is really impressive.
Again, Monkstown defending here, just trying to keep that ball out. But again, Eugene McGee just working his way. He's a key player. He's a key player for Banbridge today, and they'll be looking to get him on the ball in that final third as much as possible. So Peter Brown, if you look at Monkstown here, they're really compressing into the top of that D. I think they really need to get pressure on that ball there. I think if they allow Matthew Bell that sort of space, kind of about 5-6 yards outside the 25. I think he's going to pick someone out eventually. So I think they really need to get a forward out to put a little bit of pressure on there.
Calls there for the defender not being 5 metres when the free was taken within the 23, which would have been if the umpire deemed it so, a corner. Banbridge looking to mop this up now here through Bruce McCandless, who's cleared his lines for now anyway.
I think we're starting to see the game take a little bit of shape here. I think Monkstown will be very pleased with their first 10 minutes or so. They managed to keep it very tight, but again, McGee popping up between that forward line and that midfield. That's certainly a feature. But I think Monkstown will be very pleased with the start they've made here, and they just need to keep the errors, as we said, to a minimum. That ball again into midfield, cut out by Peter Brown. Again, good source possession, and another beautiful turn by Hugh McShane. Ball in the air, free in. So Banbridge will get on this. They have to move the ball 5 before it goes into the D. So that's why he's crabbing away from the circle. Ball in, long corner. I think we'll see Monkstown shrink in here again just to defend the middle of that goal. Peter Brown taking it forward, looking for that 2-on-1 opportunity there on Stephen Cole. Again, another free. Drew Carlisle. There's Matty Bell taking the ball forward. Ooh, takes a risk there, but this is the area that I was saying he may well just look to tee up in and fizz the ball in. And again, Monkstown stepping out here now, trying to get pressure on that feed. And again, here's the opportunity. This is what we were talking about earlier, this Kyle Good moving forward. If they can get him on the ball in those sort of situations again, I think he can cause a lot of damage for Monkstown.
Absolutely, looked like he could have moved it there, but the attack's still on. Played through Jason Lynch, he's looking for an angle to find a pass. Just squirrels away from Guy Surratt there. Would have been in otherwise, but a touch from Peter Brown. Lovely little passing from Monkstown has made it to the baseline. This is the danger area. Can Andrew Ward get something from that? Or Kyle Good? Not quite. Umpire's not entirely sure. It's gone for a long corner. There is a bit of space here on the left-hand side if Monkstown can move it around, but good pressing from Banbridge has forced it back to the right-hand side.
Very difficult player to take out of the game. A lot of ball will be coming through Lee Cole down this left-hand side. Out of left back, he's probably a chief playmaker for this Monkstown team. He's got a beautiful inside-out pass. He's got a fabulous reverse. And one of the few players that I've had in school to serve left-handed and then play right-handed in tennis. So he's as ambidextrous as they come, really. So again, out of left back, I think he causes a lot of problems with that 45 ball that he'll look from the halfway to the top of the D, and also that he can fizz a reverse ball. So it's very difficult to press him on the left side or the right side. A great tackle there by Carl Lynch. Or Carl Smith. Wrong Carl. Okay, that's probably a situation that they're going to look for to try to isolate one of their forwards in that 1v1 there. So luckily that one just goes harmlessly over the end line. Keith Kenning carrying the ball out here at the back to his partner David Cole. finds Lee Cole, just wins the free, gets out of trouble. You're going to have to move the ball through the middle there, David and Keith Kenning, as quickly as they can, just to leave a little bit of space for the two fullbacks. They've gone a three at the back here now, pushing their full back up the line. Stephen Cole dropping back out into centre back. That's the end of the first quarter, so not a whole lot in it there, Donal, to be fair. But I think both sides will be quite pleased that they've generated a few chances and probably defended quite stoutly as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. And I think you can see the plans coming into action a little bit as well. Monkstown, it's an aggressive, direct approach. Seem more comfortable on the break, getting the ball into the D early, rather than Banbridge, who seem to be passing around, moving, looking for the very perfect opportunity. One of the features I noticed there, as Banbridge are playing it around, the Monkstown defending is incredibly tight. Might be something to keep an eye out for in the next quarter. When you see Banbridge in and around the D, the defending is so tight, which means the passes aren't going to come in, because you don't want to play it into situations where you're going to turn it over there. You've committed lots of players forward. You don't want the ball to come out quickly to guys like Kyle Good, David Carson, lightning quick, and they're going to punish you. So that's just why maybe Banbridge not going as direct as maybe they'd like to be today. So one check for Monkstown there in that regard.
Yeah, I think certainly Banbridge will be looking to get McGee on the ball as much as possible. Johnny McKee has had a quite enough opening quarter, so he's had a very fine season for Banbridge. We haven't had a corner yet either, so I think that's going to be a fascinating battle today. I think we have obviously Luke Ralston in goals for Banbridge, who's an absolutely fine keeper. He's as good a schools keeper as I've seen come through since Jamie Carr. I think the return of David Fitzgerald for Monkstown is a huge plus, and I think with regard to the flickers, I think we may see a couple of switches on the corners. Matthew Bell, who flicks for Banbridge, obviously knows David Fitzgerald well from the Irish setup, so sometimes a keeper has a little something over a flicker, or a flicker has something over a keeper, so we'll see how that little battle ensues. And then obviously with the Monkstown guys, if they can get a flick away on Ralston. I know Guy Serrata's here from Monkstown, and I know Ralston had the better of him in the All-Ireland Schools final this year, off the top of the D. So we'll see again, do Monkstown actually look to move that ball when eventually we get a corner. But I must say the defending's been very, very clean so far, and I think that's why we're still without a goal here.
That is absolutely huge throw from Matthew Bell there. He did that very successfully in the in the group stages of the EHL, which were played up in Banbridge earlier in the year. It was a key feature of that game. Ball at the top of the D, quick overhead to forwards running through. We have Matthew Allister on the ball here now. Great little bit of skill, and I think we have our first corner. Has the umpire given it? It's deemed to be lifted in a free out, so escape there from Monkstown, but good bit of skill. That was one-on-one situation saw that we were talking about in the first quarter. Saw Matthew Allister just almost reap dividends from it.
I think that's the sort of work rate we're going to have to see from Monkstown. It was David Carson there getting back to make that tackle in the D. So that's the sort of commitment they're going to have to look to track their men and make sure, because I think one of those slips and that could be the difference in this game. It's always the little things win the big games.
That's a nice phrase. Do you use that one with your boys in school, is it?
The odd time, don't.
You wouldn't want them to get fed up of it?
No. Save it for the big occasion. Free out here, Colin Marshall on the ball. Still in Banbridge Academy, an absolutely superb player coming through. He was one of the top players last year on the Irish under-18s that maintained their position in the European A division at that level. Kyle Good coming forward now, cuts inside. And well mopped up there by, beautiful piece of skill by Jason Lynch. Nothing there though. Keith Kenning taking a step, and now they're in behind here. Free in. I think they got away with that. free in again. Monkstown working back hard to clog the top of that D. Hugh McShane on the ball. All the bodies inside, trying to keep that ball outside the D. And here we go, a chance for a break again with Kyle Good. Lovely hands there by Guy Surratt as he moves forward. And again, looking at a link up with Andrew Ward. Ball's gone wide again. Monkstown keeping this 75 press. They're not dropping off. It's probably not obvious on the stream there now, but there's quite a gap then forming between the midfield here and that back line. There's about a 20-yard gap. So I'm sure Matty Bell will be looking at that space as these players come back into it. Okay, Owen McGee moving forward there again, ball in the air. That's a great tackle by David Cole. And releasing Andrew Ward as space in front here if he can get into it. Attack the D, they got to be clean here. It's a short corner. It's a short corner. Drew Carlisle going to ground. If you go to ground inside the D or inside the 25 and you don't take the ball cleanly, it's going to be a corner every day, and he's gone for 2 minutes as well. I'm sorry, Kyle Marshall. I did Drew Carlisle a disservice there. It's Kyle Marshall who's been sent. I think this is the first corner of the game here, Donald. So as I said, it's going to be interesting to see. I know Luke Ralston had a very fine tournament last October. Guy Surratt will probably line up the top of the D here. They've got Lee Cole as a flicking option. No, it's Surratt. Lee Cole is there as well. So they've two flickers on there. So it'll be interesting to see. I think looking at the knockouts last week, I think low bottom left here on the keeper is possibly the spot. So they're going to have to get their postman in place to defend that one, and it'll be interesting if they can get the first runner out. Just get a little something on this ball, put a little doubt in the guys pulling the corner out here. So here we go. Okay, another short corner. So again, as I said, it's a psychological thing for Banbridge. They're getting their first runner out to block that line down to the bottom left. That's his job, to protect that side of the goal. That allows the keeper then to look after his stick side. So we'll see again what they do here, whether they persist and go hard for that side again, or whether they look to switch it up. Oh, man on the line, stroke. It's a stroke. That's the side we called that they'd go. So the postman has taken that before the ball's crossed the line. The ball's going in if it doesn't hit him. So it's deemed a stroke. So here we go. Lee Cole stepping up against Luke Ralston. Possibly give us the opening goal of this game. And it's 1-0. 1-0 Monkstown. Lee Cole, the scorer, puts back on the cricket glove as he comes back. So that's a big goal here. Just see how Banbridge react to this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're taking a fine keeper to save that stroke as well. It seemed to come in off the side of the goal at pace, just a short bit off the ground. So finally we have a goal, and from our first set of corners as well. I think you mentioned there, as a one runner and a second runner, you really like to cover that side of the goal, so your goalkeeper doesn't have to think about that. Kyle Good's got a bit of luck here and he's away, and this is where he's really dangerous. Kyle Good, of course, who played professionally in Belgium for KHC Dragons, and I certainly, from playing against him, noticed when he came back that his athleticism, his skill and everything had gone up. This from playing with guys like Felix Tenaire, really like top world class players. So the whole league is benefiting from that as well as a side point. So I think players who played abroad here, Eugene McGee has played abroad as well, certainly coming back, bringing all those skills to the Irish setup and more broadly to their own teams and the league as well. And these teams are really setting on a good bit. You get the feeling when you're playing against them, they're not quite measuring yourself against the league anymore. They're aspiring to be in Europe, to be in the knockout stages of the EHL every year. it's really taken a step up in the league this year. I think my own season for playing for Railway Union, where we had a bit of a mixed season, we conceded the most number of goals in the league. We over 70, which is not something we take a huge amount of pride in. But that's just how ruthless a lot of these teams are at corner. So it's no surprise to see Monkstown get up there at corner time and have one chance and put it away.
I think a big 5 minutes coming up here in the game. I think Monkstown just need to, if they can get another chance, a great chance through Call Good there. If they can just keep this nice and solid now for the next, if they can get through to the end of this quarter, still in the lead, 1-0 up, I think they'll be quite happy with that for a first half of a match. Philip Brown taking the ball forward, a superb tackle there by Jeff Cole. These are the situations that Monkstown are going to look for, these turnovers and then this chance to break. Nick D bringing the ball forward, picks out it's Kyle Good. Moving forward to the top of the D, and super cover, super tackle there. Bruce McCandless picks it. Chance to break here. Monkstown need to cover the ground to get back in, just compact that space. They've committed numbers forward.
Yeah, with a guy like Kyle there, you see they defended that really well. He's so skillful and quick. You slow him down and you wait for the second guy to arrive, and that's exactly what happened. So good defending there of danger men by Banbridge. On a side note here, I have Stephen Cole sitting on the ground. Not entirely sure what happened to him. Might try grab him a moment at the half or something, but he looks to be in a bit of pain.
He took that knock earlier, the ball to the back of the Achilles, so that may be giving him a little bit of grief there now. Free out here to Banbridge. So they roll the bench again. Peter Brown coming back in for Hugh McShane into the centre midfield. Philip Brown bringing the ball forward. A little bit of frustration coming into the Banbridge game now, so they just need to be patient here. It's 1-0. They just need to be patient, get hold of the ball, put it through a few phases. I think Monkstown have done well since they got the lead. They've managed to hold on to the ball. They've created an extra couple of chances. And again, they just need to keep the work rate high here now. That ball lifted across, not deemed dangerous though, so there's nothing there for with regard to a free out.
You see there now Jason Lynch coming deep. Oh, well, it would be in order to retake it there, but Jason Lynch is the kind of guy you want in this moment. Get the ball, keep it tight and close, and start moving it around. He's great at dropping back in front of the opposition's midfield and just shifting the ball, creating angles for other players, like we mentioned earlier. Lee Cole, David Cole, great distributors to find angles into the forward line. This will suit Monkstown here perfectly. David Cole just taking it up nice and slow. Well, no, that's not ideal. And a counter-attack on here into Eugene McGee. Eugene turns away and puts a dangerous ball across. It seems to hit a body or a stick or something. Half-hearted appeals from Banbridge forwards.
I think Monkstown can't afford to turn over that sort of ball where it's coming out from the centre backs to a Banbridge player running on. It immediately eliminates the marker, and you're creating 2v1 opportunities. So I think they need to make sure that they don't turn over that sort of ball. Certainly we see Stephen Cole here, the Monkstown captain, just climbing over the fence. He's getting a little bit of work from the physio, so I think possibly an injury to the back there. David Carson moves forward. Oh, great ball across there, looking for Jeff Cole, Stephen's brother. Obviously the four brothers on the Monkstown team: Lee, David, Stephen and Jeff. Peter Brown moving forward. Good opportunity. It's the first time Banbridge have got in behind that Monkstown defence. Ooh, short corner. I think he needs to make David Cole picking up the ball there. He needs to make a bigger effort really to work his feet and to get that ball out over the sideline. So again, this is the first opportunity that Banbridge have had. They obviously have a mean flicker in the form of Matthew Bell, but Monkstown also have David Fitzgerald, international keeper here. So this is the first opportunity, this is the first showdown between those two. So we'll see how this one pans out.
bottle of water thrown on there for the puller out. Make sure the spot is exactly as he wants it to be. Keep an eye here if anything gets saved, how quickly the teams react. I often find this is a key battleground in games when balls drop down in the D. From saves, from first phase drag flicks, who reacts quickest? Wonderful from Eugene McGee. Seemed a little slow, the push out there. So I don't know if that was a move or he reacted. I think it might have been the latter. But he took it around the one runner very well and probably expecting to get something on target there.
I think to be fair, Joan, a good chance there from Monkstown. I think to be fair with regard to I think that's a mark of respect to David Fitzgerald. I'm not sure they fancy themselves off the top of the D, so I think we may look, keep an eye out for a couple of switches later, a couple of guys sliding in to get a touch around the keeper on short corner time again for Banbridge. But again, good step by Lee Cole there, pushing the back, so free hit. I think Monkstown have done well here since they went up. They just need to keep it very solid here now. So they move out. Eugene McGee pressing there, wins the ball back. Little lift, free hit. Good work again back by the forwards. Monkstown are working incredibly hard here. Forwards working back in to help out that defence. Carl Lynch finds his brother Jason Lynch moving forward. They don't want to carry the ball in those zones and turn over. This is where Banbridge will be dangerous. That ball needs to get in and out of the middle of the pitch as quickly as possible and look to attack on the flanks. You turn the ball over on a flank, far more easy to defend. Philip Brown finds his brother Peter. Bruce McCandless moving forward. This is better from Banbridge, just putting the ball through a couple of phases. Philip Brown cutting in, top of the D. Steamed accidental by one ref. Okay, Jason Lynch being put to the bench. He voiced his frustrations at not getting a free hit in midfield there. So he's sent to the bench for 2 minutes. Peter Brown on the ball here. Moves it 5, he can put it in now. Okay, snapshot there coming in.
Yeah, that little snapshot there, forwards have to live off that sometimes. It's a difficult place to be. You're coming away from goal, you have to take a touch out towards the edge of D, the ball is bouncing and you have to turn and shoot. But oftentimes that's what you're left with for a little bit of games. So the best guys, they practice that and they get them there. So like you say, with Jason Lynch out for 2 minutes on the bench, so we'll see how Banbridge play when Monkstown are down to 10 men. Seem to be pressing a little higher straight away. And almost intercepted there and away.
So on a little side note, David Carson is just receiving a little bit of attention there for a hamstring. They could certainly do with getting him fixed up and back on the pitch. At the moment, Ross Quirk coming in there to do a bit of a shift. So already they're down 2 big players here who are receiving treatment. So we'll see how that pans out over the rest of this game. But there are certainly 2 players Monkstown need to get back on the pitch as soon as possible. David Fitzgerald are getting a touch, kicking the ball out to Lee Cole.
He always did fancy himself as a footballer, David.
A decent footballer, not a bad basketball player either.
Not a bad basketball player. I do recall one time in a Rory McIlroy situation where he was injured for a number of months due to playing basketball with some friends. That didn't go down well with the coaching staff at the time.
Bit of a Thibaut Courtois. Carl Lynch throwing the ball forward there.
Looks like probably just wanted to play the game down in the other half for a minute. It's been a lot of Banbridge in this quarter so far.
Yeah, certainly Monkstown changing it up here now. They're dropping that press to a half court, allowing Banbridge the ball around the back. Banbridge using the width of the pitch through Drew Carlisle, and good use of the height there. They're going to have to stretch this pitch now. Where where Monkstown drop into that half court, they're going to have to get forwards on the baseline just to make that half as big as possible. Monkstown are going to look to keep this compact and force them to play around. Kyle Marshall, Philip Brown here. Okay, good block there, long corner.
Bit of a mismatch inside there, but Ross Quirk stood up well.
Okay, long corner again. A little bit of pressure here. Monkstown just need to get through this phase, get themselves back to full numbers on the pitch. Colin Marshall bringing the ball forward, looking a little bit more direct. Short corner. To be fair, I think the ball's fizzed in there. I don't think it's dangerous. There's no players taking evasive action, so that's how the referee is reading that. Monkstown players having a little bit of a debate about it, but I don't see this being reversed.
Yeah, and Andrew Ward has come a little bit across the pitch there to have a word, and just like Jason Lynch a few minutes ago, he's received a green card for that. It's a tricky one. I think, the umpires are trying to do it from an international standard. You see that in the international game and at the top level of European club hockey, where they're no longer interested in those balls that previously, a couple of years ago, would have been deemed as coming in a bit high. But
I think it's definitely a question of danger, and to be honest with you, that ball coming in there, it hasn't come through a group of players. It's been mistrapped by a Monkstown player who's been able to see it coming in from 10 yards. So, they're big boys now. They need to make those traps. So here we go. Let's see, do they go direct or will they switch? Maybe look out for a couple of touches around the keeper. That's what they're looking for. Again, another short corner. You can see there, again, not backing themselves off the top of the D. Looking for little nicks, little touches in around the keeper. Keeper has to look after the first ball. And that second ball, if somebody gets a touch in front of him, it's in the lap of the gods, really. But again, let's see what they do with this one. Certainly, Johnny McKee lining up to get a little nick there. Owen McGee on the other side, on the reverse side. They've Kyle Marshall, who got a big goal from up in Banbridge in the Europeans earlier. Certainly Matthew Bell taking a little bit off those, which would lead you to believe that they're really looking to get Marshall in for a touch just in front of the keeper. So again, there's a big moment in the game here. Monkstown need to defend this. This second ball, that slower ball in, is often very difficult to get away. There's no pace on it, so the keeper will struggle to get it away off the pads. So again, big second phase required here from Monkstown to get this away. Bit of a scramble there. Oh, and it's gone wide. It's gone wide. So that's super defence there by Monkstown. Again, we're seeing them moving those short corners. Again, not backing themselves against David Fitzgerald here with a direct flick. And that's a half-time whistle. So I think Monkstown will be very happy with that first half and get in. Stephen Cole going past us there with an ice pack on his back, so hopefully we'll see him in the second half.
Yeah, crucial phase at the end of that first half there, so Monkstown definitely the happy of the sides and looking strong on it the second half of the game.
Guys, you back live, yeah? Okay, welcome back here. Second half, first half there, Monkstown going in 1-0 up. Let's see how this second half unfolds. I think they'll be happy enough with that first half performance.
Yeah, a couple of Monkstown players there continuing getting treatment, so they're going to have to probably reach into their squad, which is pretty deep, to be fair, through the weekend at this rate, if they keep this up. Already missing talisman Gareth Watkins this weekend. Gareth's long-time leading goal scorer at Monkstown International as well, and definitely keenly missed, but at the same time, these guys slotting in who look are more than capable and have been chipping in with goals in his absence.
What do you think Banbridge are going to have to do differently here? Or do you think it's just a matter of patience? Just keep putting the ball through phases, build pressure, and hope you generate a couple of mistakes, probably.
Definitely mistakes. Genuinely, they don't look coming apart from that one corner that they won. I think corners is where you're going to have to see it. They've had 3, and I don't think they've had a meaningful shot on target, really. So you'd be disappointed with that ratio. So sort that out would be number one for me, and I'm sure they mentioned that at the half. And then possibly be a bit more direct. They have a lot of guys with a good bit of pace. Fraser Mills is a superbly direct player, and I've seen him score a number of goals arriving late to crosses where he's torn through the defence. So just releasing balls, I think, maybe into the D a bit, being a bit more direct, making Monkstown think about it rather than allowing them, as they're doing at the moment, being able to play deep and mark tight and condense the space, actually going into the space when it's there, stretching the game a little bit, in other words.
I think it's interesting to see David Carson back on the pitch there. He's been receiving a lot of treatment there at half time on his hamstring, so that's number 7 for Monkstown. Monkstown back up to 11 players there. Andrew Ward coming back in from his cooling down period on the bench. Again, Monkstown setting up to defend the middle of the pitch there, trying to force Banbridge wide. I think they'll be happy enough to keep that going in the second half here. I think early on Banbridge trying to lift the pace, and again, as you say, trying to go a little bit more direct into the D. I think in the first half they had a lot of possession, but never really broke the line to the top of the D. I think they'll be looking to get the ball in there. That ball in the late in the first half that they crashed in from Kyle Marshall brought a short corner. Also on this pitch, I think it's a perfect pitch for that direct ball because there's a little bit of bounce on that top circle on that top surface. So if you zip the ball in, you might get a little missed trap ball coming up, hitting a foot. Again, Eugene McGee bringing the football forward. They just need to be disciplined here. Monkstown trying to defend that top of the D. And that's well mopped up there by Keith Kenning. He's come into the team in the last 2 months and done very well at centre back. Obviously trying to fill the hole left by Richard Sykes, and what a sizable hole that is. Andrew Ward bringing the ball forward here, holding it up nicely. He'll just look to bring the midfield into play. Monkstown happy enough to get their hands on the ball here for a little phase. Good pick up there by Carl Smith. And super work. Hugh McShane then looking to launch the counter.
Lovely.
That's a super ball forward to Philip Brown. It's a great opportunity now where they get Monkstown defence turned. Top of the D, ball crashed in. They're looking for a corner. It certainly didn't sound like a stick. I'm not sure what.
He was well placed for that one, Robert Johnson, the umpire, so he's conferring, but decision is a long corner.
Don't see it, you can't give it.
Yeah.
So here we go, long corner. Bruce McCandless on the ball. Super ball forward and well defended. Ball breaks to, don't know who that was. Owen McGee, was it? Long corner again. I think they just need to keep their cool, Banbridge. We've seen two green cards already for a bit of chat, so just keep cool, keep playing. Get another foot, taken quickly. They're getting Philip Brown through that right channel. I think that's a player we haven't seen enough of in the final third. Actually, he's a big physical presence. If they can get him on the ball, driving at the D, particularly as the game starts to heat up a little bit, a little stick check will be immediately a short corner inside the 25. So Monkstown just need to keep their cool here as they try to clear this. And that's well defended. Okay, that's gone for 16. So again, Monkstown here, they just need to take the sting out of the game. Things getting a little bit heated there. Just get their hands on the ball, put it through a couple of phases.
Jason, not too far back.
The long, hopeful ball there out of the fence has been turned over. Oh, lovely tackling back from Carl there. Fraser Mills making a bit of space for himself, drawing fouls. That looks a heavy tackle, and the player's gone down. Fraser Mills gone down, but just a free in at this stage. Some of the Banbridge crowd maybe looking for a little bit more, but it's just a tight battle more than anything else. Seems to be a little bit hurt though at the moment.
I think Banbridge will be very encouraged by the start they've made here to this second half. They've got good field position. They've got into the D 5-6 times. A couple of corners that maybe could have gone their way. So I think they've certainly lifted the tempo, and I think Monkstown are going to have to look to respond to that now.
Lovely bit of baseline play, but well cleared by Dave Fitzgerald, although it's come back at him. Again, the Banbridge players seem confused by the refereeing decision, but they do well to just get on with it at this stage. Ball just squirms away from Fraser Mills there. And a slight reprieve for Monkstown here. There's a lot of pressure here. We're only 5 minutes into this half, and it's been firmly Banbridge's so far. Well, that's an excellent relieving ball. David Carson deemed to have made it dangerous there by having two players underneath it as it arrived down onto the ground again. I think with a guy like Philip Brown, I think you're dead right. He seems like worked up anyway from the first half. He's come out here a bit fiery. He uses, to borrow a rugby expression, he looks for soft shoulders on guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if in this half we saw him win a free running down somebody's left-hand side, and maybe a lazy tackle coming across.
They certainly look to be shoving him higher up in the pitch. Started this second half. They'll possibly look to go three at the back to generate that extra player in midfield. And we'll see how Monkstown deal with that, whether they drop a forward back to deal with it. Again, they're asking questions, Banbridge. One like a stick tackle goes in. Eventually the umpire may just lose patience, and that becomes a corner. A free out. Banbridge deemed to have brought that ball up there, so they've created the danger. So that's the reason probably for that free out. Carl Lynch on the ball. I think they certainly need to get the likes of Stephen Cole on the ball. Monkstown, Carl Lynch, just to calm things down a little bit now, because this is just the start of the second half's been all Banbridge.
Come on! Hey, Summer, fucking come on!
Certainly we've seen an increase in the speed of the game here in the second half. Anyway, that's for sure. It's been played at a totally different tempo to the first half. So let's see can Monkstown stick with that pace.
That's Sam Farson doing a little bit of baseline work, and Eugene McGee is so dangerous from there, and he's hit the post. Surely there's something coming here from Banbridge. There seems to be a number of chances, but my God. The post, and a man free at the back post there, that was you really usually expect that to pop in at some point, but bless there. I think Monkstown a little bit. Eugene McGee very dangerous when he turns onto his open side like that.
I think we're going to see an equaliser here soon enough, to be honest with you, if this pattern stays the same. I think Monkstown really need to get the likes of Stephen Cole on the ball. David Cole, Keith Kenning at centre back need to get hold of the ball just to take a little bit of the sting out of the game. Any ball that's been played forward by the Monkstown team is immediately being turned over and it's coming straight back at them. So again, we had a series of corners at the end of the first half which were dealt with. Let's see, do Banbridge go direct off the top, or again are they looking for those little touches and nicks in around the keeper? They go to wreck this time, and it's Eugene McGee. Straight off the top of the D, low and hard down the left-hand side. We spoke about that before, about them backing themselves off the top. That's the first of their 4 corners they've gone direct with, and an absolutely superb finish down low to the left-hand side.
Monkstown saw success going down that exact same side in the first half when they won their stroke. Again, usually it's the number 1 and number 2 runner would go out and try cover that with their sticks or bodies if they have to. But so it's a talented flicker can find the gap. So and Eugene McGee is certainly that. Yeah, you're talking about David and Stephen. I think they set the tempo for Monkstown. They're very solid players. They usually play 2-touch hockey, pass it and go. So you're dead right. They get on the ball, you'll start to see Monkstown play their way up the pitch and into the game, into this second half.
I think we're certainly seeing Eugene McGee getting on the ball a lot here in the start of the second half, and that's causing a lot of problems, obviously, for Monkstown. As Philip Brown breaks forward here, they have to be careful here. Monkstown for that superb defending there by Keith Kenning, just to get a block on that. But again, as we spoke about Philip Brown getting forward, he's such a powerful physical presence that it's very, very difficult to put anything on him there as he breaks forward into that final third. Anything in that 25 is going to be a short corner in that situation there. Certainly as the game goes on and this game becomes more tense, I think the umpires will certainly be going straight to the corners. Lee Cole moving that ball forward. Missed trap by Andrew Ward. Those balls are going to have to stick, Donal, I think, because there's just far too much coming back straight away from Banbridge.
I've been in plenty of these situations this year. You get rid of the ball and it just comes back at you. It is so tiring for defence. You can't keep it up. So that close marking we were talking about in the first half, Monkstown players really tight. That only happens with high concentration and high energy, and that will go if you have to do it for a good period of chunk of 17 and a half minutes. Turnover here as Banbridge come back down along the base. Another crack ball in, and that's what we're talking about as well. I think we mentioned it a bit more direct. Maybe in the first half you would have seen that played to the baseline or come back around. It's being hit across now, and they're looking at hanging sticks out and hoping something will flick up into David Fitzgerald's net.
But again, another turnover straight off the 16. Monkstown just can't get their stick on the ball at this stage. Hugh McShane just ball back to Philip Brown. Banbridge now just looking to build a phase. Ball forward from Matthew Bell to Peter Brown in midfield, who turns well. Good ball forward again, picking out Eugene McGee. And again, it's been a pattern of this second half where Banbridge are just looking to get that ball into the D, far more direct than they were in the first half. First half they were happy to take it in, take it back out, switch it to the far side. They're getting good field position and then just looking to get the ball in there and see what happens.
Sun's back out here at Three Rock Rovers temporarily. It was certainly shining on Banbridge. I think in as much as defenders will be getting tired, forwards get energised by those sort of turnovers, don't they? You start to see forward lines getting a bit more aggressive, and that's when the chances come. It builds. It's the sway of a
fantastic turnover by Nick D. Dave Carson 1-on-1. Oh, it's a great goal. It's a great goal, but that goes back to absolutely superb work. It's what we were talking about, those turnovers. That came from nothing. It was an aerial from Keith Kenning, which was mistrapped by Matthew Bell. Broke to one of the other Banbridge midfielders, and it was a superb turnover by Nick D, who just managed to get a ball forward. And I think that's a huge turning point in this game. Just off a fantastic purple patch for Banbridge. That's a bit of a sucker punch. So we'll see how they react to that. They've had no field position. They've had no phases of play. And suddenly they find themselves 2-1 up here. So that's a real sucker punch for Banbridge, because it's been all Banbridge this second half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just technically on the finish there, David Carson, he eyes up the goalkeeper. I haven't played against him. I had a feeling he was going that side. He likes it. He's an excellent drag to that side, and to be able to eliminate somebody, to throw the ball really far out, sprint and catch it usually one-handed, and then to finish from that angle tight, knowing that there are two defenders coming across, so you probably have to put it in the air as well. Anything on the deck is going to be picked off. That was a really impressive finish.
Well, Carson came through Andrews. He can't hit on the other side, Donald, so that's why he drags it to that side, to be fair. Another good turnover here in midfield by Guy Surratt. Moving forward with the ball, it's nicely defended by Colin Marshall. Those two went head-to-head, obviously, Banbridge Academy and St Andrews College earlier in the year. And a superb turnover by Kenning again, if he can just pick a pass here.
Out of position now.
Banbridge moving forward.
Keith Kenning found himself on the top of the unusual field position, and this game is getting quite fractured now. Both teams turning it over. Kyle Good, very dangerous from there.
Ooh.
Kyle Good, an Olympian, of course. Very, very dangerous from those sort of positions again. Probably if you put that one on the deck, if you had managed to keep it down there was a man waiting for it, but you don't begrudge him taking a shot on there. Looked very close from our angle.
I think what we're possibly seeing here now is just some players starting to feel the pace of the game and just kind of over-carrying a little bit in midfield. They need to get the ball in and out of midfield as quickly as possible to limit those turnovers. Again, a long ball forward, picked down by Matthew Bell. Picks out Colin Marshall. Monkstown looking to be quite aggressive here, and again getting a little nick on it, just deemed to be back stick. Philip Brown on the ball here. Picks out Matthew Bell on the far side. Moving forward. Picks out Peter Brown. So they look to slow down the attack. Good work by Jason Lynch there. Good footwork. Spinning in. That's superb defending. Long corner. But I think that's what Monkstown need to do. They need to isolate these attacks, these waves of attacks that have been coming from Banbridge, and look to slow them down. And then get to that ball when it's out to try to cut off the feed of the ball, not allowing them time to pick out players in the D.
Eugene McGee's found his way in front of his man there, and that's excellent, brave defending. Deflected over by Andrew Ward and Ross Quirk, double teaming there to keep that out. That was really good stuff. The kind of thing you need from your defenders in those situations. Looks like they've just got to go back here, and they really don't want to concede. Want to start put the screw on Banbridge a bit, or make them really feel like they've lost something here, because from the way the first 5 to 7 minutes of this quarter was going, you thought Banbridge were going to start walking away with it. Still find themselves a goal behind, of course.
It's very good defending by Monkstown, just slowing down the attack. Banbridge getting stuck in the corner. And that's exactly what they need to do. Just slow the attack, slow the waves, and then just reset. Another good tackle by Lee Cole. Again, discipline and getting back. They're just getting little nicks on the ball, and it's just making it that little bit more difficult for Banbridge to tee up and get that sort of ball across. Just quick free taken there by Philip Brown, just to give himself that little half yard to get that ball in. Again, good ball wide to Peter Brown. And again, it's a little nick just to concede another long corner. This is a good phase in the game for Banbridge now. Monkstown just have to stay strong here. Again, just disciplined. Walks it into the D, looking for the corner, and there it is. Short corner. Peter Brown working superbly well. Eliminating Andrew Ward on the end line and pulling it back to a foot. So let's see what they do from this. They went direct with the last one. Eugene McGee off the top. Keeper's bottom left. So let's see, do they go likewise?
In the first half, Banbridge were setting up when they did all those switches. They had one dragger on the top, so the stopper and the dragger set up. So it was actually, now you can see they've set up with two, so they're trying to put a bit of doubt maybe into David Fitzgerald and his team's mind there about what possibly they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised, you had success last time, if we saw another direct effort from the top.
Right on! Come on! Good! Well done, Reed!
That's well defended on the line. He didn't quite catch hold of that one. And there goes the end of the second quarter. I think, to be fair, Monkstown will be quite happy to go in 2-1 up because that quarter's been dominated by Banbridge from start to finish. And I think in this last quarter, I think we could get more and more of those little midfield turnovers. But I think this just comes down to legs now and discipline, really. Monkstown certainly defending much better in that last 4 or 5 minutes, where they're just slowing those attacks, isolating them to the sidelines.
I think for those viewing at home, that was probably the most exciting or interesting quarter. It's like not just the 2 goals, a number of corners and errors. I think are often very interesting for viewers. They add to the drama, the interest. I think we're poised here at a game where Banbridge are finding themselves coming into it a little bit more. Monkstown are carrying a couple of guys who've received treatment. I think we could be in for a really intense quarter of defending from Monkstown. It makes a big change from the first half, which was measured. There was a nice tempo to it, and it was lovely hockey play. I think coaches would be quite happy. Certainly Michael Stiles, how his team played and defended and everything. But that was a different quarter of hockey. It's amazing the way the game could change just through a few individual decisions and errors.
But I think certainly in the last 6-7 minutes, I think the game became very, very scrappy and very strung out. I think in that sort of situation, we've got a lot of players who can cause a lot of damage. If the defence isn't getting compact and they're not getting numbers behind the ball, if there's these double turnovers constantly, I think the likes of Davy Carson, Kyle Good can thrive in that sort of space. I think Banbridge also have players in the form of Johnny McKee and Eugene McGee, especially who can thrive in that sort of environment. So I think it's really a case for both sides now, just to keep the errors down to an absolute limit. From an outletting point of view, keeping that ball as close to the sideline, because I think all the dangerous turnovers have all come in the middle of the pitch. Yeah. If you're making a turnover closer to the sideline, at least you have an opportunity to get players in to actually deal with the threat. But the dangerous turnovers, the Monkstown second goal came from a turnover right in the middle of the pitch. So I think if I was the Monkstown coach now, I'd be looking to outlet a lot to the sidelines and keeping this very, very tight, limiting those turnovers in the centre of pitch to the absolute minimum. But a big test here for Banbridge now, seeking to get back into this game.
I'd expect to see them put a lot of pressure on with a high-tempo press high up the pitch. Ask some questions of the Monkstown defence. Can you distribute out of there? That is a bit of an error from Stephen Cole straight away. Banbridge come away with it, but a loose ball and Monkstown have it back. Not way you'd want to start that this final quarter.
I think with Banbridge going forward, I think where they make those turnovers, they have to be clinical with their passing then in the final third. As a defender, there's nothing better than seeing that turnover and then the guy puts it out over the sideline. So they're going to have to be very, very clinical with their execution in that last third. So again, we'll see how it pans out. But this is a huge quarter for Banbridge. They're obviously looking for the treble. They've got the IHL in the bag. They've won the league. They're looking for the club championship to add to their Irish Senior Cup. Again, a feature, Eugene McGee getting on the ball in the final third and that ball in the air. Here he goes again. Great block there by Keith Kenning. And again, just disciplined in defence, trying to slow this down. Andrew Ward has done a lot of work back there. Again, just trying to recycle the ball through Matthew Bell. Jeff Cole getting a bit of pressure now. He's got to do a shift to get across to Kyle Marshall. Finding Philip Brown on the sideline. Lovely little reverse pass inside. That's superb work. That's what we were talking about, Philip Brown getting through in that area. If they can get him in those sort of zones as much as possible now, he can certainly do quite a bit of damage. Monkstown have got to look out for that in this last quarter.
The tone from the benches, just the coaches as well, is just starting to change the way they're putting stuff in. A little bit less to their players, a little bit more about umpiring decisions and what they perceive to be happening. So it just tells you how tense this is and how much it matters to both teams. Eugene McGee there did great athletic feat. He fresh from beating about 3 guys carrying the ball in the air. He made it back and got the ball again and put some pressure on. He's looking like he's going to take this game with the scruff of the neck if he continues that on. Peter Brown tried a little bit of skill there with that one in the corner towards the end of third quarter, but couldn't quite magic something up there as Keith Kennan distributes high to put some pressure on Drew Carlisle.
Certainly they're getting Peter Brown on the ball that little bit higher up the pitch. He's using his skills well there, looking to generate a short corner. Again, Bruce McCandless carrying the ball forward. Philip Brown getting on the ball again in the final third. And a switch play here through Matthew Bell carrying it forward. They need to get somebody out to him. You don't want to leave him carrying the ball forward to the top of your 25 with nobody putting pressure on. Little reverse pass there. Okay, free in here. Eugene McGee on the ball. Monkstown getting incredibly compact. Jason Lynch out to put pressure on. Johnny McKee trying to get turned, and it's well defended. Keith Kennan carrying it out. Just looking to crab his way out, buy himself a little bit of time. And there's the relieving aerial from Kyle Gould. But again, it's straight to a Banbridge stick. Kyle Marshall looking to launch it forward. And here's Peter Brown again getting on the ball. Oh! Okay, it's deemed dangerous coming in there. But again, they're getting him in that kind of left inner channel there. He's causing quite a few problems, Peter Brown.
Monkstown caught Banbridge napping there with the player coming on from the sideline, the substitution, and Guy Surratt took it away. He's now passing around with Carl Smith. Monkstown will enjoy this. It's the first time they've had this in a while. A platform certainly inside their own half, but halfway up the pitch. Just to play it around for a moment. Let's see if they can keep this ball up here, or if the Banbridge are going to come back and attack, put some more pressure on.
Certainly Monkstown will be very pleased with their performance today. As we mentioned at the start of commentary, they haven't beaten Banbridge this season, so they're in a position now here which they haven't been in yet. Guy Surratt working back here. He's looking to get close to Carl Smith there. You don't want to leave him isolated. He's done well. He's done superbly well to turn that ball over. Now this ball needs to stick. Andrew Ward cutting inside. He just needs to drive. Marshall has to be careful here. Superb. Oh, it's a great goal. It's an absolutely superb goal from Davy Carson, who 20 minutes ago was getting that hamstring tied up. But it's an absolutely outstanding piece of work by Andrew Ward here in the halfway line. Great defending from Carl Smith to turn over the ball inside his own 25. Play a ball to Ward on the halfway line, who then goes past Kyle Marshall. Beautiful turn and a lovely square ball then for Carson diving in on the back post. That's a fantastic piece of work. And again, Monkstown living off scraps.
That's a third goal for Monkstown. Banbridge 1, Monkstown 3.
Banbridge coming back here now. Petey Brown's made his way into the D. He's won himself a corner. Here we go. We have about 11 left in this quarter. It is Banbridge 1, Monkstown 3. And Banbridge corner. It's poised beautifully for intense last 10 minutes or so. But yeah, Andrew Ward's a little bit of skill there when he took that ball facing his own goal. Little drag out to the side. As a defender, he saw the defender, feet were in the wrong position. Little lift and off you go. Carrying a ball in a position that he knew any foul at very least he'd get a corner. It was wonderful forward play.
He carried that from the halfway line with one hand. He's a very, very accomplished tennis player, old Wardy. So he squared it across very nicely, but that was a fantastic piece of work by Andrew Ward there to set up that goal. But here we go, Banbridge short corner. Superb save. That's a huge, huge save from David Fitzgerald, getting a big left hand on that corner from Eugene McGee. But again, they need to work back in and be disciplined. Andrew Ward with another little nick. Bruce McCandless just recycling the ball. I think they need to be patient here. They've got enough time. They just need to be patient. 10 minutes left here. But that's the sort of ball that will just be... Monkstown will absolutely love that pass going out over the sideline. They can just kill another few minutes.
Big cheer from David Fitzgerald there when they managed to clear that. That's how much it means to him and his defensive team when they keep stuff out. They don't get the joy of scoring goals, they get to stop them.
Nick D working back in there. I think in these last few minutes, I think Monkstown are going to get opportunities here because Banbridge are going to have to commit men forward to get this equaliser, or to get the 2 goals that they need actually to get back. Obviously 3-1 here to Monkstown. Again, Peter Brown working that left inner channel. He's given a corner here. He's given a corner. Certainly Banbridge. I think it's given for a... Who's going? It's David Cole, is it? That's a big loss. That's a sweeper gone. I don't know who they're going to have to drop in. I'd possibly see Guy Surratt here go into sweeper just to shore up that hole for a little bit. But another big moment here. Clock stopped at 9 minutes and 15 seconds here. If Banbridge can get something here, that gives them plenty of time then to look for that equaliser.
Corner number 6 or 7, I think, for Banbridge at this stage. Might see something a bit different. Maybe a spin move from Eugene to Bell, something like that. Could be, because David Fitzgerald has stood up well so far.
Come on, Tom!
It was pushed to the right, but it's been saved. Back to the pusher out here now and see if they can work something. Scrambling around, Dave Fitzgerald on his knees, pads it away. And again, another victory for the defence.
Absolutely superb defence there by Monkstown. That's a real key moment. They just need to get through these next 2 minutes now with David Cole in the bin. Just keep it nice and tight. I think you'll see them dropping off to a half court. Guy Surratt gone back there to left back. Lee Cole appears to have gone into a sweeper to fill the hole that was left by David Cole. Monkstown just dropping off here. They'll be happy enough for Banbridge to have the ball in this area as the clock ticks down. Again, trying to isolate Banbridge to those wide areas, but they're getting isolated on one-on-ones here. They don't have the sweeper to come in and cover there.
Eugene trying his skills along the baseline there. Won himself another long corner. There's space to the left here if Banbridge can move it quickly. It's hit Nick T's foot, but it's play on as the balls come back to a Banbridge stick. Lovely, nicely deflected away there by Lee. Jason Lynch carrying it into the corner. Can he upgrade here? Get himself a free, relieve the pressure a little bit. Heaney Brown wins the ball, comes away with it. Seemed to be fouled. Little stick tackle along the end line there.
So the discipline of the Monkstown team here in this final quarter has been absolutely superb. They've managed to slow everything that Banbridge have brought forward. They're not allowing Banbridge to get any momentum. David Cole coming back into the game there now, so they're back up to 11. But Monkstown's defence, the scramble defence on the corners, their discipline has been superb here. Nick D closing down. Again, ball forward, Fraser Mills trying to get into that left channel, which they've had a little bit of success in earlier this half, winning a couple of corners. Again looking for a corner, but there's nothing there. Ball cleared, Jeff Cole. He just needs to hang on to the ball here. Andrew Ward making a lead through the middle, but Jeff's done well. Just needs to hang on to the ball, link in with a midfielder. He doesn't want that ball bouncing back as Monkstown players are going in the opposite direction.
Here comes the goalkeeper.
Johnny, get the ball.
It looks like Banbridge are pulling their goalkeeper there, so kicking back, Owen McGee going in. This will generate that extra outfield player. Bibs being given to Kyle Marshall, so he has keeper rights in the circle. So we'll see how they use that extra man. Johnny McKee certainly gone up to centre forward.
Wouldn't be surprised in these situations with the scoreline as it is, with just over 6 minutes left, that Monkstown don't commit players forward. If the ball goes up there, you're going to see 5 guys staying in their own half or in around the halfway line, not interested in joining the attack. Just not keen to concede. Let the guys that are up there do it. Interesting feature there. As that attack broke away, Andrew Ward, who's been defending immensely and played a huge amount of this game already, found himself right on the flick spot in a supporting line. I know he's run a marathon, but like at this time of the game, that's really impressive stuff to be doing for your team. It shows why these guys are some of the best teams in the country.
Monkstown will be happy enough with that. That ball played in and hitting a foot. Lee Cole with that inside-out pass. Again, I think in those situations, Monkstown just need to get hold of the ball. I think that's a straight turnover there. And again, Banbridge are bringing the ball forward. But as you'll see here, Monkstown with all 11 men behind the ball. Just looking to get it forward there. Johnny McKee on the ball. Monkstown have got 2 there. Just trying to slow that ball down. Free in. Great block again by David Cole, who's had an immense game at the centre of the back there for Monkstown. Andrew Ward bringing it forward. He'll be happy enough to win a free here. Sideline ball. That's all Monkstown need at this stage. Balls to stick once they're played in, and then win frees. Take your time and just tick that clock down. We're down now into the last 5 minutes. 4.5 minutes left. Wardy generating danger there, so free out. Matty Bell on the ball. Bruce McCandless here. And again, another turnover. So, again, I think not a huge amount there. The Monkstown Mafia appealing. Eugene McGee moving the ball forward. Fraser Mills now into the lad. They just need to be disciplined here, Monkstown. And there it is. We're 3-2. Game on here. 4 minutes left. A referee stopped the time here. Monkstown certainly don't need another player in the bin here. They're still in control of this game. 3-2, but that was a superb piece of skill down the baseline. And then I don't know who got on the end of it. Did you pick the score?
I couldn't see it myself. There was a few bodies lying on the ground.
Call good. Again, that's what we were talking about earlier. Those turnovers in midfield. They can't afford to turn over the ball here. And again, Banbridge on the attack. Eugene McGee isolated 1-on-1 with Keith Kenning. It's a superb game. He's had a good game, hasn't he, Donald?
Good game, yeah. I think you mentioned earlier, Keith, he wouldn't be a mainstay of this side. He played at UCD for a number of years, played some Division 1 hockey as it was at the time. But he's done really well today. And he's, like a lot of the Monkstown defenders, has a good array of passing skills. Kyle Good in just in evacuation mode there. Any old place will do. Long handle, as we say ourselves. Get it up the other end of the pitch and try and make them come again.
It is a massive 3 minutes here. Monkstown obviously looking to get into the final with their ladies tomorrow. They'd certainly be the first club to have 2 sides in the IHL final on the one day. I'm not sure Gordon or Trevor Watkins will be able to sleep tonight with the excitement of that prospect, but it's not over yet here. Johnny McKee, he's won a corner there.
Great bit of skill there, lovely turn. Often you see players turning when they have a low base. It was almost upright and managed to spin around. Like, it's great strength and skill.
There's a huge moment in the game here. Monkstown's scramble defence has been outstanding on the short corners that we've seen so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see Eugene McGee go direct here again, at least get something on the target, and then see can they fight for that second ball. They've had opportunities off second phase, but let's see, back himself here again off the top of the D. Matthew Bell lining up there as well.
It is Bell to McGee.
Oh, the spin.
It did seem
that's well away.
Back stick there from David Carson, as Eugene just couldn't quite pick it up, whether he got over the top of it or the pitch was a bit dry in that spot or something. He wasn't able to catch it. But Petey Brown here crabbing again, as he's done so successfully this half. David Fitzgerald takes a kick and misses it, and it's pumped away to the sideline, and Monkstown say come again.
There's 1.5 minutes left here now. Ball played in. Matthew Bell on the ball. He's getting far more up the pitch. That's obviously how they're using. They've obviously pulled their keeper, so we're looking at Bell getting into that last third here. McCandless, ball into the D. Again, well defended. Monkstown will be happy enough with that, as the clock's ticking down now to the final minute. I think we'll see this ball thrown here. I don't think Monkstown will look for anything fancy. It's picked up by Matthew Bell. I think we're talking one more phase of attack that they're going to have to defend here. Jeff Cole trying to get a little stick on it, trying to get something just to stop this attack coming forward. It's a superb ball. That's an unbelievable finish. It's an unbelievable finish. Is that Johnny McKee?
It looks like it's Johnny McKee. Or
Johnny McKee. They're bringing the keeper back on now, it looks like, but that's the equaliser. That's the equaliser with, I think, about 40 seconds. We have 27 seconds on the clock here. And that's the equaliser from Banbridge. They've put their keeper back in. Luke Ralston has just gone back in. Kicking backs come off. We have 25 seconds left on the clock here. That was a fantastic finish though, Donald, wasn't it?
You don't see many of those. Swept hard into the roof of the net. That's a phenomenal finish. Do you think maybe it was just a case of too many questions asked by Banbridge? As Monkstown have a chance here? It's a free out. We're going to have the hooter now. And we're going for extra time.
So that brings the game to an end. I think we've had a spectacular second half there, to be fair. Monkstown going in 1-0 up at half time. Game ending here 3-3. Monkstown 3-1 up with no more than 3-4 minutes to go. So for Banbridge, I think that's testament to the standards that they've set this year, both in Europe and here at home. So let's see how this shootout pans out. But we've certainly had a fantastic first match here. And it's going to come down to the keepers. Certainly Banbridge went through this last week, Donal, in the EHL, so they'll have a little bit of experience there.
Absolutely. It's entirely different sort of premise and prospect, and everybody has their own different ways to do it. I think we mentioned earlier David Carson's approach. You know, that's one, you come straight up, you drag it around. I've seen players lob the goalkeeper. Popular one is always go in, put your bum up to them and spin around either side. Try to get the goalkeeper flat-footed. But yeah, it's intense. But I think, do you think it's fair that we're going to these? I would imagine, like, my estimation would be probably yes. Monkstown will feel like they've let this one slip. But in terms of the balance of the game, I think it's a fair.
Yeah, no, I think certainly on the balance of the game, I think Banbridge, I don't think they deserve to be 3-1 down. I think Monkstown really lived off scraps and took whatever came their way in that second half. Monkstown defended superbly well, and I think it was just continuous pressure in the end resulted in this. I think the goalkeepers are going to be a huge thing here. Obviously, David Fitzgerald with a massive amount of experience. They went to this format in the Mills Cup final this year, and I know he saved a good number of the one-on-ones in that. Luke Ralston, obviously a young goalkeeper, maybe obviously not as experienced as Fitzy, so I think that could be a huge factor in this. I thought last week looking at the IHL, Ralston looked to come out very, very quickly, and maybe just left himself maybe come out a little bit slower. What do you think the approach of the keepers will be here?
Yeah, I think you eye up the player, right? Like if you think the player has one particular move, you try and force that situation to defend it. So in the case of but a guy like, let's say, Lee Cole, who's all the skills, you want to just try to defend the goal as much as possible. So just don't be predictable, I suppose, is a number one thing when you're defending it. So if you are going to rush, and then next time maybe rush and stop. I think you do tend to see most goalkeepers come out to at least a couple of feet outside the flick spot and hold that position and just try make the angles tight. If you can imagine, big goalkeeper, it's just physics, right? I don't know how your physics is, right? Yeah. You make the angles difficult.
Certainly both sides have been in this situation already this year. Banbridge obviously lost last week in the one-on-ones in Europe to qualify through to the last 8, which would have been a phenomenal achievement to have an Irish side in the last 8 in Europe. So I think certainly as opposed to strokes, I think the one-on-ones, your goalkeeper is a much bigger factor, and from that point of view, you would have to go with the experience of David Fitzgerald here. But if you look at the lineup, I think Banbridge have Eugene McGee, Johnny McKee. I'm trying to read the numbers. Owen McGee is there, Peter Brown, and there's one more there. I have my glasses in my bag. I didn't stick them on, but that looks like who's lining up. It's Dane Ward. Monkstown's takers are Carl Lynch, Davy Carson, Lee Cole. It's Kyle Good, and the first one away. Monkstown going first here. It is. It looks like Carl Smith working himself way in. He spins. He's looking to take it onto reverse and finishes very, very nicely indeed. A little bit of cramp there to celebrate. Not a pleasant feeling. But he'll be a relieved man to be walking back, having put that one away. That's a good start for Monkstown.
Yeah, lovely finish just to get it in the air as well. Ralston had covered the ground well. Now we've got Eugene McGee. Oh, he's hit the post for the second time in the game. He seemed to give a bit of a shimmy to Dave Fitzgerald and open up that angle for himself, but just by a fine margin. That's unfortunate for Eugene. Advantage Monkstown.
I think a huge thing here, actually, if you watch the footwork of the keeper, is David Fitzgerald work incredibly quickly. Ralston out here, steps are bigger. He's still got 8 seconds. He duffs it. I think they're appealing for a back stick. It certainly wasn't the cleanest struck reverse stick that Kyle Good has ever hit. Banbridge are certainly appealing for back stick, and I can see where they're coming from, but I don't think the umpires are having any of that. Eugene McGee appealing to the umpires, but I think it's been waved away. I think that one's going to stand, Donald, so advantage Monkstown 2-0 here.
That might be a talking point after the game. Peter Brown now head down, but eyeing up David Fitzgerald. That's a classic sort of move. You come in, you throw the eyes over the shoulder, you shimmy, you feint one way or the other, and when the goalkeeper puts his weight on one side, off you go the other way. So Eugene went on to reverse Peter Brown. Strong spin there.
I think a feature of the goalkeepers here is certainly Fitzgerald has taken much smaller steps and is adjusting quicker. Ralston seems to be charging out bigger steps, which makes it much harder for him to actually adjust. Spin and a beautiful finish there by Carl Lynch. Make it 3-1. Certainly with David Fitzgerald in your goal, you'll be back in Monkstown from here.
Yeah, absolutely. At this point, he's a big presence. He works incredibly hard at his strength and conditioning, so he's going to have good core to react to stuff in this situation. But that one snuck through, and he is furious with himself.
Straight down the middle through the legs. David Carson coming forward now. Monkstown leading 3-2 here. Both sides having taken 3 one-on-ones. Carson, who scored 2 superb goals in the game itself, pulls it that side. He's still got 8 seconds. He needs to get something away here. Runs out of time. So now 3-2.
Just like in the game, he went to that reverse side, but Ralston must have seen it coming because he just reached out and touched it away. So back on here now. We could be squaring this one up through Owen McGee. He's made a bit of space for himself. Excellent save from Fitzgerald, the big man. And the rebound goes wide.
A superb work by Fitzgerald to get the initial block and then to get back up and make the second block. I think that's a testament to the conditioning of these keepers, the ability, because carting around that gear is not easy. So to make a double save is Lee Cole to win it. And a superb save by Ralston. It's a superb save. Two keepers pass each other there. Johnny McKee coming forward. Here for the last one.
Just to make it 3-3 now. A lot of pressure on Johnny McKee. He's got his head up. He's looking for any angle by Fitzgerald. Looking for the spin. Excellent save. Oh! And that seems to be the whistle gone before the ball to the back of the net. There is controversy or a little bit of drama here. Are they consulting?
To be honest, I think to be fair, Joe, I think the whistle had gone before that ball had gone in. So just to clarify, you've 8 seconds to score. Fitzgerald made the initial save. The whistle went to indicate that the 8 seconds. They've given it. They've given the goal. They've now given the goal. So now we're 3-3. We're going to sudden death. Monkstown thought they had it. We're now 3-3. This is the game that just keeps on giving, isn't it?
Well, I'll be interested to get an umpire's take on what that one was there. My understanding was as that's if the ball isn't over the line when the whistle goes, that it's no go. But obviously they've seen something we haven't, or understand something, and we'll defer to their better knowledge.
Well, certainly in this situation, you'll see we've got three umpires. Two of them are officiating the 1-on-1 itself, with the third umpire on the clock, who isn't actually looking at the play. He'll be looking at the clock tick down, and as soon as that clock hits 8 seconds, he's going to blow that whistle, unaware of what's happening behind him. So whistle went. Whether the ball crossed the line or not is now totally irrelevant, because we're in sudden death strokes, and it's Peter Brown stepping up to take the first one. They obviously reversed the order from the initial 1-on-1. So Peter Brown working in. He spins into Fitzgerald, who stands up. And a beautiful little finish on the reverse. Gets it in the air.
Yeah, it went the other way this time, Peter Brown. And if you're not going to do the big spin on that side, it's a little lift is always very helpful. He put that one right away in the top of the net. Kyle Good here ready, but the keeper making him wait. It's for Monkstown to stay in it. He's gone around him well, and he walks it in neatly. Very cool from Kyle.
Prefer him than me, to be fair. That's nerve-wracking stuff. We're obviously, if you're just tuning in, we're sudden death 1-on-1s here. A little bit of controversy there in the last on the last stroke, but this is where we are. Eugene McGee standing over the ball. David Fitzgerald changing the angle that he's coming out here. Big long hand and a great double block, but he gets it on the third one. Fitzgerald getting a stick to it. Often the keepers switch up to a longer stick for these 1-on-1s. I think Fitzgerald might switch up to probably a 39, 40-inch stick. Your standard stick being 36 and a half, 37 and a half for the taller gentlemen, but certainly a longer stick used.
Wonderful there from Carl Smith as he just slips it under Luke Ralston. That was a fine finish. I'd say the longer the stick, better player you are. Kenny Carroll uses about a 39-inch stick, so and we all know Kenny's brilliant. So thinking about getting better next year. Buy myself one of those as well. Trying to relieve a bit of the tension here.
Johnny McKee stepping forward. He scored that controversial one-on-one that kept Banbridge in this. He's run out of time. He's run out of time. Fitzgerald just standing up. McKee not getting the ball away.
Yeah, give credit where it's due there to Dave Fitzgerald. He didn't give him an angle. Johnny McKee was looking, but like you rarely see that. But
I think again the footwork of Fitzgerald, and this is to win it. Carl Lynch. Oh, we could have a stroke here. We have a stroke. That instance where the attacker brings it in. If he's taken down by if the keeper takes down the attacker, he will concede a stroke. Monkstown then can go to any player in their squad to step forward to take that stroke. So Lee Cole stepping forward. He took the stroke in normal time in the first half to put them 1-0 up. He went low bottom right. Let's see what he does with this one to win it. Same place again, and that's it. Monkstown are through to the IHL final after an absolutely fantastic game of hockey here at Three Rock Rovers in the first of our semi-finals. How do you sum that up, Donald?
That one had it all. That we really did. We had a good sort of measured game where in the first half our teams figured each other out, and then they seemed to forget that they were those teams, or they seemed to change the players, put the same jerseys on them, because they came out a game that was just fiery, end to end, few errors, which made it a bit more dramatic, but really excellent second half for us watching it here. And then those one-on-ones of that nature, that was drama at its finest.
I think it was a game that just kept building after you said in the first half, very cagey, but there we go. Monkstown turn over Banbridge for the first time this season to qualify for the IHL final tomorrow, so best of luck to them.